FP2 starting right now. You guys thought I probably fell asleep, but let's talk about the Japanese Grand Prix because I did not. And it was a little bit more entertaining because there is a chance that let's pull up the table right now. There is a chance that this table will be how the grid starts. And the only way that happens is if the typhoon makes it so that they can't run qualifying. There's basically a 100% chance that the race happens. But what happens up until the race, that's still kind of up in the air. It depends on how bad the storm is, which it's just about to start hitting. I have a friend over there who's a correspondent for a different motorsports company, and it's basically starting to hit not fully, but basically the storm's here. And so we're going to get probably a developing news cycle. I'll be updating the blog, of course, but I won't be making any videos about it. But I will be making some video content, and I'm really excited about it, and I'll post it today because the session was canceled. So it'll be like your little fix, because this feels like a whole nother day. But, okay, Nick, shut up. Get to the race. Okay, so let's it's about to start raining. These results may hold if we can't run qualifying, which is a good chance we'll still be able to run qualifying. But if not, this is what the grid would look like. But again, we'll probably be able to run qualifying. So you have Valtteri Bottas, who again leads the Silver Arrows, which again, just like last year, and they got a little bit quicker. And so there was a mix of long runs and the race sims and then the quality sims. And it actually made for some not terribly safe conditions on the actual track today. So you had a couple close, I would call them close calls, and most notably between Daniel Ricciardo and Kevin Magnussen. So that kind of made for some interesting dynamics. And one other thing I kept catching was how close Leclerc and Vettel they were really close to each other. And I don't know. I kind of get and now I'm speculating, but I kind of get the feeling Russia is still kind of, the stench of Russia is still kind of on them. So they keep saying everything's fine, but I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that. And there were a couple instances in which actually Vettel once had to lock up pretty bad because Leclerc just passed him. So you had the Silver Arrows who, as a team, they just can't be beat. Like in terms of their strategy, in terms of cohesion, in terms of the clarity of where they are and what they're trying to accomplish. But you had Max Verstappen splitting the Silver Arrows and the Ferrari, so he's in third. Leclerc, who actually leads Vettel this time. So again, that's probably going to make for some interesting dynamics going into the race itself. If they were to hold like this would be pretty bad for Ferrari because of how the start is at Suzuka. It almost reminds me, which again, I'm just going to give you a hint. It reminds me of what I'm making for you guys, but it reminds me of the 1989 Suzuka, well, I guess even 1990 clash between Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. So just how the start is set up, how going into that first turn, just basically going flat out, and then you have the S's, and then you've got just a lot of different track dynamics and really only one major overtaking spot because the track is so flowy. The Ferraris look bulky in my opinion, per usual around a track that has a lot of turns like this, but the Mercedes looks on rails. So with that said, this is Alex Albon's first time at this track. He's honestly, it's impressive. His first time on this track. He still needs to close up, but again, he's being compared next to Max Verstappen. So he's P6 at a 128.402. He ran 34 laps, which is quite a bit. You've got Carlos Sainz, who's just been hands and feet when you talk about best of the rest, above everyone. And again, Sergio Perez is still there. And Pierre Gasly, the Toro Rosso, looks pretty good. Lando fell back to P10, but he's still really good. This is his first time in an F1 car at Suzuka, that's a tough track to be your first time, right? So the freshmen are looking really good. They had Aiken up in the skybox, which that was the only thing getting me through the day because they were particularly, except for Karun, particularly tough to listen to throughout the middle of the night. So yeah, it was just a really good session in terms of action because they're all trying to squeeze all this and mixing in quali and race sim. So I would not be surprised. I still think Mercedes is sitting on something, but they're still improving. And the one thing to call out as I was doing my simulations, I was timing them too on my sheet, which it's so close to being done. I actually feel like I can almost show you guys the live timing. I don't want my engineer to get pissed, but when I was actually doing the calculations, it was showing that, so I had I had Vettel at 11 laps, Max Verstappen at, Max at 6, and on the mediums, his race pace was 135.5, Vettel's was a 136.3, which personally doesn't bode well for when you look at Ferrari's race pace, which shouldn't be terribly surprising to anyone. But actually, yeah, I don't want to show you guys this in case it breaks live, which shouldn't be terribly surprising to anyone, but it is just confirming when you start timing it out. Unless Ferrari's got an extra mode, it could, which is the case. Apparently, that was the scuttlebutt around the paddock because they're holding back some stuff, which, yeah, makes sense, or they could just be saying that knowing it's going to get reported out to everyone else listening like dummies. So I just took the bait, but that is just what's being I guess everyone's guessing about that, but we really don't know what everyone's holding back, and we're not even sure if we're going to get another session. So I think people are being very careful. Even Christian Horner got caught out. He got asked a very blunt question and came back with how many softs he has left. So people are definitely holding back, Red Bull in particular. But when you talk about best of the rest, it is definitely, you definitely want to keep an eye out for Carlos Sainz, who is just, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 1,000 times, has had an incredible, silently incredible year. I'm definitely going to make a video about him. Alex Albon, for his first drive, he needs to close up. He definitely needs to close that gap, but it is a good drive for his first time around. Probably the losers of today are definitely going to be the Renaults, because they should be quicker. Personally, they should be quicker on this track. George Russell, for the first time, may get out qualified. If it held like this, it'd be the first time he's out qualified all year by Kubica, which is irrelevant because he's gone. But and it's looking like Nico Hülkenberg as of now kind of was. They were talking about it during while everyone's running their simulations. There really is no spot opening up, and even the Williams just come out and said, look, we don't really have a spot. So I'm just kind of giving you the in-between fillers, what happened during the FP2 session, but also what to watch for. So I would watch for engine modes. It looks like everyone's holding a lot back, which is no different than normal, but it does seem to be a little bit of a strategic game. Everyone's waiting for everyone else to show their hand first, and no one's doing it. And this rain is going to throw everything off. So Max got out pretty late with about 16 minutes. He was still in the garage. Leclerc with about 20 minutes still in the garage. So a couple of these guys, I think, everyone's got something up their sleeve, it feels like. And you feel like Mercedes has the most to lose in terms of they want to close this up as quick as possible. You don't want to go into U.S., you don't want to go into Mexico, because we saw how well the Ferrari and Kimi did last year. But let's just leave it there. This is the table. It's going to be on the blog. You guys can check it out whenever you want, and I'll be uploading some content about Suzuka, and I basically already gave it away, but I've been working on it for a while. So not necessarily controversial, but some people for some reason still think it is, but we'll see. Let me know if you like it, and I'll see you guys here shortly, but hopefully for FP3 if we can run, but if not for qualifying, hopefully for qualifying, and if not for qualifying, definitely for the race, I'll be doing some onboards or something like that. So thanks for checking this out, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good day, because wherever it's probably morning for most of the audience. So I will talk to you guys soon.